This is the second movie in the guide number 6. This is the movie for dollars and pounds, and I've decided to do everything right in front of you on this one. So I'm going to get started right away. Remember on the first page it wanted you to reset the default options. If you are on page 6 and you see that you are on number 1, it says double click the graph tool and let's reset those default options right now. So refer back to your page 1. If we go to the value axis, we see we can just unclick this. Don't worry about the numbers in there. This is supposed to go to short, and this is supposed to go to 0, and nothing on the prefix for now. Let's go to the category axis, and everything is fine there. You can see it's 0, it says short, and draw tick marks is going to be selected. Let's go back to the graph options and see what we're going to do here. Everything is fine there. 90, 80 is good on the options down here, and first column in front is good. We'll be changing several of these in a few minutes. I'm going to click OK, double click my graph, or click there and hit 4 inches, and then the graph type window. Let's go ahead and delete out the number 1 and then move it over to the first one. And I'm going to do all of this in front of you. It's ABC Company. DEF and GHI. Okie dokie. And now let's go down to, this time I won't go backwards, and always, double check what you've done. The numbers here are 260, 485. So let's go 260, go back this way, 485, 303. And then with quotation marks around it, let's go 2007. And then I'll go down to the next one with quotation marks, 2008. I'll go over to the first one, and it's 471. It is 642 and 400. Now let's go down to the next one. It's 412, 739, 650. And then the last one is 2009. Now we should be done there. I'll double check everything. Yep, that should be it. Let's click down. I've taken away the number 1 from the upper left hand corner box. ABC, DEF, GHI, 303, 485, and 260. 471, 642, and 400. Yep, and 650, 739, and 412. Let's hit the apply button, and then I will save the file. Okay, let's close the graph type, or the graph data window, I'm sorry, and we will save it. Now I'll grab the V key. As you can see in the picture, that is in number 2. I'm just about exactly where I need to be, so I'll take the V key, or the regular selection tool, put it in on the screen where it's supposed to go. This one we're not going to make extremely beautiful with a whole bunch of different looks to it, but we are going to just take it. Let me go to the next page, and we are going to make it just look like this. So it's going to have a drop shadow, pounds on the right hand side, dollars on the left hand side. So let's follow our directions. The first black and white graph shows the way it will appear. Select the graph with the selection tool, double click to open the graph type window. Now we want to get this to be on both sides. Now we're going to have to move this legend in a minute. So let's right hand click and let's go to the graph type tool. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the value axis. Let me see where I am here. Okay, I'll choose on both sides from the value axis window. Fine. And then in the style selection, check add legend across top and first column in front. So add legend across top is now selected. Let us go 9080 is my cluster. That's good. Cluster width and column width, and don't want to miss anything here, so I should be good. Now choose left axis from the graph options. Now we're going to change the left hand side, so let's go choose I'm sorry, now that I've set on both sides, Now there's an added something up in graph options. Instead of just axis or value axis, we have left, I'll say value axis. So now that I have left axis from the graph options, click the override calculated values and go 0, 1004. So let's go 0, 1004. In the next one, let's go change tick marks to full width and leave 0 as the draw tick marks per division. Then again back to enter dollars, so shift 4, and we leave the suffix blank and click OK. Now, well, we don't click OK yet. We go to the right axis. And now in the right axis, now when I get this done, it's not going to appear right away. We have to do something to make it appear. So that's why I say on the bottom of your page, see where it says, at first the graph will show only dollars on both sides, don't fret. So that's what's going to happen. Now on the right axis, let's go choose override calculated values. Let's go 673.4. And let's go 4 in the divisions field. In this one, we don't want any tick marks in there because we already have done it in the above one, okay? And 0, of course. And then we go pounds. Now in pounds, it's option 3 for a Mac, or if you're on that horrible PC, it's Alt 0613. You have to have 10 fingers and 12 toes to try to do that. Yes, that was, never mind. Let's go into option 3, and now we have pounds in there. And now leave suffix blank, and I probably should have written in there click OK. So I didn't, but let's click OK. In fact, I'll have that in there. And now we have the item that we need to have, and you can see in my bottom picture that the A, B, C, D, E, F, and GHI legend is actually on the top. So now let's continue. It wants me to use the group selection tool. So again, I'll go into the direct selection tool. This time I'll pull off the group selection tool just to show you that you can click up there or just click the direct selection tool and hold the option key. But let's click once on the GHI legend. So click once on the box for GHI, then select again with the group selection tool. Now look at how when I do that, only the GHI numbers, click once and then twice, and now only the GHI numbers are selected, okay? And that's important. Now, mine don't look right for some reason. Oh, you know why? Because I haven't done the dollars yet. All right, it should look like that when I'm finished. In fact, let me just double check and see. Yes, they're shorter now. They will become longer in a little bit. And I'm meaning the height of the GHI boxes. So to make a long story short here, once I have that selected, it wants me to open up the graph type window, and it wants me to just choose on the right hand side. So let's go only on the right hand side. So really the graph doesn't even know that a left hand side exists. Now now I say choose value axis up here. Notice there's only one value axis. How come there's not two anymore? Because we're only talking about the right hand side. So let's go to value axis. I just tell you to go here to double check that everything is there. Then click OK, and now look at how not only did the GHI vertical stacks raise, but they're now reflected in pounds on the one side and dollars on the other. And if you have to fix it, if you get it by mistake and somehow they get dollars on both sides again, then just use your group select tool and isolate out just the GHI by clicking once and then twice on it and going back and repeating step 3. To change the graph to the color version, all I tell you is fill with colors of your choice or try to come as close to mine. All I did was just isolate out the boxes. Now I'm going to use the direct selection tool, group aspect, and I'm going to go like this and just click like I did. So I just drew a box around this. I'm going to pick them up and put them on the bottom just to get them out of the way of the top. Now I'm going to click once on the GHI button and twice on the GHI button there, and I'm going to fill with a gradient of just 2 colors. So let's just take this and then just pick some decent colors. I went from yellow on the one side to a light green on the other, just to get that one a little bit isolated out there. Then I'm going to click away from it. So I use the selection tool and click away, the direct select. Now I go to the group select and click once on the DEF box and twice on the DEF box, and I'll click the same thing, but I'll change it up now. Or I can just click the black and white one. I should have saved the color one, because I always want to do that. I'll go back and do that just so you can see I can do that. This one I made a little bit of blue and a little bit of reddish color. So I'll take the blue, which is a little bit raw right now, and I'll just make it a little bit less raw by coming up with it a little bit more like this. And then on the one side I'll click a light pink magenta just to give it a little bit of a different feel. On this side you can see I'm pretty close to what that was. I'll move this over a little bit, and now I'll click away from everything. Hold the group select tool once and twice on the ABC box, and I went red and black. So I'll click the black and white one, then I'll pick up the red and I'll go on one side, red to black. I meant red to blue, or darker blue. And let's go over here. Now, all I did there was I just isolated things out to make it more American on the one side, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then British on the other. And I don't know why I chose yellow and green. So whatever. Now, you can also, in this program, change the way the text looks. I could marquee all of these items right there, just having those items selected. I could take those and I could go to ATC Tradewinds if I wanted to. So I could go all the way up to ATC Tradewinds. Let me see how long that takes me to get up there. And let's go down to wherever my ATC fonts are. There they are. And I'll just choose Tradewinds again. And there they are. Now I've made those, Tradewinds Ultra. I'll make those a little bit Tradewinds Ultra. And then I made those a green color just to go along with that. And then I'll add a drop shadow to those in a minute. Now, I'll marquee all the ones on this side, and what I did there was I made those blue, and I also made those ATC Tradewinds. So maybe I'll just type that, ATC. Let me see if this works, and then let's go Tradewinds. And let me take this out. Okay, and now let's go here and click there. Now let's see if that worked. No, that's not working. Okay, why didn't that work? Because I have to go all the way to the top. You know why? Because there's no space between them. Oh, I'm just making a mountain out of a molehill here. Okay, whatever. If it was Arial, that'd be easier. I'll just go way the heck up there again to ATC Tradewinds, which was down here. I saw it already. Even though it went by at blazing speed, there it is, right there. And let's go to Ultra again. See, there's no space in it. See, ATC Tradewinds. And this one I said I made a goofy blue. So let's just take the one and go to blue. Now, you can change anything you want. You can change the colors of anything by using the direct selection tool and isolating out the whole thing. I'm going to leave it as what I have done there, but now I'm going to add a drop shadow to everything. So with the V key, you select it. I'll go up to Effect. I'll go down to a drop shadow. And I have to remember where my feeble little brain has drop shadows. It's under Distort, Convert, Stylize. There we go. Add drop shadow. Now I'm going to click Preview because I want to see the Preview button. Let's click it on. Now, I forgot Illustrator takes a moment. All right, let's leave that on. And I'm going to change the color to more of a blue. So let's go into more of a blue-black color, and then I'm going to take this and do an opacity of about 50% on it, and then I'll click Preview off, and that's very pretty. And then I have the offset as 0.1. I think I'll go 0.05 to get it a little bit better than that. I'll go 0.05 there. I'll go actually 1 was fine. You know what? It's the blur that I don't like. So let's go 1.1 of an inch, and then I'll take the blur to less, maybe like 0. I'll add a 0 in there and see what that does. Now let's click preview again. And it's way too harsh. Okay, so blur doesn't want to be like that. Blur wants to be more like 4. That's halfway. And I'm almost done. So that's going to be it. That's nice. I like that. Now I have a really good drop shadow. You can see 0.4 was my drop shadow. And by the way, if you want to redo a drop shadow on something and you can't get back to that particular drop shadow, you go into the appearance menu. And in the appearance menu, you can see that you have a drop shadow added. All you have to do is click the drop shadow. The drop shadow comes back in and you can change the drop shadow to anything you want. That is about the right way to do that. If you went back up, you wouldn't actually be getting to the drop shadow window that way. But in the appearance menu, you can do that. All right. The next graph we are going to do, we have now dollars and pounds, and we have this one done. On our artboard number 3, we are going to do the wonderful little piglet graph, the combination graph. And that graph, you can see, is basically just a background image with a frame. And what I've done is I've made 2 pieces of artwork. I just recolored one, by the way, which was just a series of ellipses. And I won't do this in front of you, but I will break it down for you to show you how I did it. And then we'll go ahead and just do the graph and change it. Because what I did, just same way we did the vertical bars in the first one, just defined these coins as a design, and then we just implement the design using the graph technique. And let's just do it that way, okay? Let me go down and go back to our graph. Thank you. And we'll go on to movie number 3. That is my graph for today. So what happened to my drop shadow on that one? I don't know, but I'll go to the other one that has my drop shadow. And there is my drop shadow on this one. And I'll click away from it so you can see the drop shadow. And then we now say save. And I hope you enjoyed it. It's taking forever. Okay. And good night.